Blessings, everybody. How are you? This is my first time here. I've only been in Tampa for 4 weeks, but it is what it is. I'm out there just coming to represent. So I'm doing poetry and I'm singing tonight. And this is called Chess, Not Checkers. I am playing chess, not checkers. Not a casual quick swipe, red and black board game, where moves are predictable, pieces are disposable, and strategy ends at a simple king me. No, I am seated at the master's table. I hold the king's counsel, and I move with kingdom intelligence. Every step, every decision calculated, precise, prophetic. I do not just move forward. I move in patterns of victory. I move with foresight, discernment, and the favor of the Lord that shields me like armor. You, on the other hand, play checkers. Quick moves, central moves, carnal moves, reacting, not discerning. Jumping pieces but never seeing the board. And when you come against me, you do not just face me, you face the host of heaven. You face the angelic guard, the commander of heaven armies, and the decrees that were written in eternity before you ever drew breath. The queen on this board is not to be underestimated. She is wisdom, she is intercession, she is movement. She shifts dimensions, sweeps across the board, covering territory with divine precision. You thought you were attacking a pawn, but heaven reveals you touched a queen, a prophet, a watchman, a remnant on assignment. So check your hearts, check your motives, check your hands for innocent blood, for this is not a casual game. This is kingdom war strategy, and every move I make is backed by prayer, by fasting, by covenant promise, by prophetic fire. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue rising against me shall fall, condemned by the judge of heaven himself. I am not defending my square. I am protecting territory, bloodlines, destiny, regions, generations. So when you see me move, no, it's not just me. It is the King directing, the Holy Spirit guiding, the host fighting, and heaven enforcing. Checkers was never my game. I was born for chess, born to see the end from the beginning, born to think 3 moves ahead, to stand when others fall, to bring kingdom order to the chaos of this board. And when the last move is played, when the final pieces fall, it will not be you shouting king me, it will be heaven declaring checkmate. Okay, and this is another one. I just wrote this one last night. This is my family. Y'all, I always say a lot of times we don't understand like our family lines and what we've been through, but everything I've been through, I understand it. So it says, from existing to living the awakening. I once thought I was living, but I was merely existing in the echoes of my bloodline where pain had a permanent address and silence was the only language spoken. I was born into patterns, cycles that dance like shadows through generations, where trauma was inherited like a last name. Homes filled with unspoken truth, molestation buried in whispers, addiction hiding in corners, abuse normalized because it had always been there. Generations of people wrestling with alcoholism, drugs, generations wrestling with brokenness and secrecy. And so we called it living, but it was merely survival, existing, not becoming, breathing, not yet alive. Existing looks like chaos disguised as comfort. It looks like watching families fracture while everyone smiles through the pain. It looks like failed marriages, friends that betray, and love that always costs too much. Existing is the black sheep trying to fit in, pastors of dysfunction, carrying mantles that was never yours. Double mantles, double pain, because those before you drop the baton of healing. And yet, even then, there was something stirring deep within, a voice that whispered in my wilderness, I called you, I chose you for such a time as this. Even when I didn't understand the call, even when rejection tried to break me, even when I poured out love and got wounds in return, God's voice kept echoing through my confusion. He said, you are not what they did to you. You are what I placed inside of you. And the awakening began slowly, painfully, powerfully. The inner me, the Christ within, stirred to awaken the sleep survival, but living is about carrying surrender. Living is when you stop running from your reflection and you finally face the healing mirror of God. Living is when you stop wearing generational trauma like a birthright and start breaking it like a curse. Living is no longer repeating what broke you, but redeeming what made you. Living is standing in the middle of chaos and saying, peace be still, and meaning it. Living is no longer crying for love. It's becoming love itself. Living is no longer being the black sheep. It's becoming the shepherd of generation. Living is knowing who you are spiritually and naturally. No longer begging for validation because you walk in revelation. Living is being healed and yet still being processed. Delivered but still walking in it. Anointed but humble enough to bleed in secret while still declaring his glory in public. Now I see the enemy fought me hard is when I begin to awaken. He sent me more heartbreak, more betrayal, more lack. But even in that, it became fuel because I learned that fire refines gold and birth and pain births purpose. And what once was bondage became my breakthrough. I'm telling y'all, it became my breakthrough. Now I'm living, I am abiding, he abides in me, and I in him. And though I walk through storms, I walk with authority because living isn't the absence of trial, it's the presence of truth. God says, because you endured what others could not, because you passed the test that should have broken you, because you loved through betrayal and forgave where others cursed, the inheritance is yours, the abundance is yours, the overflow is yours. Now rivers of living water flow from within me, healing every place that was once dry. Now I see life as he intended, not through the lens of pain, but through the eyes of promise. I no longer exist in cycles. I am living in covenant, no longer a prisoner of patterns. I am a carrier of purpose, no longer wandering in wilderness. I walk in kingdom. I am living fully alive, fully awakened, fully free. This is the awakening. This is deliverance. This is what it means to move from existence to living. And I had to release that on tonight because there's some others that have been through what I've been through and worse. And we in this super moon, okay? Yeah, let's talk about it. We're in the super moon. This is a time to reflect on you, and then also a time to remove things that no longer serve you. You don't have to please others. You got to love yourself first. Done, Dr. Cat.